Welcome back to the Lucas Oil ASCS Show here on RacinBoys.com. We want to thank Brady Bacon and Jason Martin for being on the show. Joining us now is Danny Lasoski, who picked up the win up in Greenwood, Nebraska's I-80 Speedway on Thursday night. Danny, how you doing, bud?
Hey, Scott, great. Thanks for having us on the show.
Man, I appreciate you taking the time. I know you had a busy week last week. We're going to get into Greenwood, but you were with us at Valley Speedway, and man, things didn't really go your way on Wednesday night at Valley Speedway. You were driving Jeff Whitehead's car at Whitehead Motorsports. Tell us what happened, first of all, at Valley.
Well, we had a little issues. We had, little gremlins. We were running, and we actually didn't get enough passing points in the heats. We had to run the B and knew we had to get qualified there. So we made it to second and knew that that's pretty much where we were going to stay. We could have maybe run the car a little harder, but that's the tires I was going to run for the A. So we just kind of rode around in second, and we had a fuel issue, so that put us out of the race. And I thought we were done for the night. And thanks to Mr. Traylor and Dennis Shroud, I got a promoter's option of starting the back, and I was kind of excited about that, to be honest with you. We love racing at Green Valley with the ASCS, and I was looking at the field, and I thought, if we could come from the back and run top 5, I think that'd put on a great show for the fans.
Mm-hmm.
I think we passed it. We dropped a green, and we only run like 6 or 9 laps. We passed a lot of cars, and we had a U-joint blow up, so it was ended our night.
Yeah. Well, that was a bummer. I think you've won 2 out of the 3, now 2 out of the 4 events at Valley Speedway, so you had to be one of the favorites going into that, and it's always good to see how you could stack up. You won those races in the Warrior region, not take anything away from those guys, but until you get all the national tour guys there, you really want to know what a guy's made of at a racetrack, and I think a lot of people figured you were one of the guys they were going to have to beat at Valley. We moved up the next night to Greenwood, Nebraska, I-80 Speedway, Joe and Steve Kosiski's racetrack, and man, oh man, that's a big, fast, giddy-up place, and you and Brian, your nephew, you guys had a lot of success up there. Let's talk about that race, and speaking of Brian, the two of you come home first and second.
Yeah, we did. I mean, he's the man there. I'll tell you, anytime you go to I-80, he's either going to win it or wreck trying, because he's got that place figured out pretty good. I'm pretty proud of him for that. But we went in there with Mr. Birch and the 1M car, and we were in the redraw. We drew number 3, started as third, and I think Brian started 5th right behind me. And Jason Johnson got out in the lead, and we ran him down. Sometimes it's better to be second, so you can kind of see what the leader's doing. And I seen that Jason was having a little difficulty negotiating a couple of corners, and just lined him up, and we got our car working on the very bottom and drove by him. And I guess behind me they were putting on a heck of a race.
Yeah, it was a pretty good battle. We're going to be watching that here in just a few minutes here on the ASCS show. But anytime you can run down a guy like Jason Johnson, and listen, this goes for you too. I mean, your experience and what you've done, your career speaks for itself. You're one of the all-time great sprint car drivers. But Jason's been on top of his game the last couple of years in the ASCS National Tour. He's got that new Roush Yates Ford program going on. Everybody thinks it's the big deal right now. But when you run a guy down like that's been really on top of this deal and pass him, and then not only pass him but kind of run off and leave him, you got to feel good about that.
We really do. Mark Birch does a good job, builds his own engines, and then. Again, yeah, the Roush Yates, it's running pretty good. Seems like wherever he goes, he's in contention to win. And we got our car operating pretty good. I don't know if we'd have been any better if I kept looking at the top at 3 and 4 to maybe go up there and make some momentum, but we were locked down pretty good on the bottom and just pulled away the victory, and very proud of that for our team.
You and Mark seem to have a pretty good chemistry. You look at what you guys did at the end of the last year and all the success that you had in winning and just running up front all the time. Man, it'd be nice if you could put something together full-time with that guy and run, because it seems like you mesh up really well.
It would be fantastic. This guy does it out of his pocket. He doesn't have any help at all, and he does it all. He builds his own engines. He does it all. I mean, every bit of it. So it takes a lot of time to do that, and it's just an honor to drive a guy's race car, plus have a guy that really cares and pays attention to the race car while you're on the track and can give you the needed assistance that you need to win them ASCS national events, because when you go in there, it's definitely not easy.
Yeah. Danny, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention your win up at Knoxville. That is your 97th win. You're closing in on the 100 race mark. I'm sure that's something that you're going to accomplish at some point. You got to be looking forward to that.
Well, it is an honor, and we don't know if we will or we don't, but we're sure trying. 100 would be definitely an honor to be able to do that there. And we couldn't do it. We took our own car up there, and we couldn't do it without the people that help here. With Todd Creason and Tony Ross, Klein Motors and RVs there at St. Joe, Ronnie Disfield, all these guys make it possible for us to be there and to run our own car and to go up there and have 97. It's pretty special.
Yeah. Lawrenceburg, man, it looked like you were on your way to winning an outlaw race this weekend as well, but problems there.
Yeah, we did. Like I said, we went Knoxville Saturday, we won. We went to Burlington, Iowa Sunday and won. And we were leading the outlaw race on Monday and had a rocker arm shaft in the motor. It was no fault of anybody's. Paul Kessler builds us great engines, but just a part failure, and we'll fix it, and we'll be back in this weekend.
All right, Danny. When are we going to see you next out on the national tour? You going to be up Eagle in 2 weeks?
I'm looking at the weather for Eagle, to be honest with you. World of Outlaws race at Spencer, Iowa, and Knoxville that same weekend, so it's kind of a confliction. But yes, wherever the weather looks good, then for sure I'm going to be running at Devil's Bowl in the Speed Week after that.
All right, good. All right, Danny, thanks so much for taking the time, being on the show as usual. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much, guys.
All right, thanks.
Bye.
There you go, Danny Lasoski, the dude, and a good run for him up at I-80. All right, we're going to take another break. When we come back, we're going to watch that A-Main from Greenwood, Nebraska's I-80 Speedway here on the Lucas Oil ASCS Show.
As your power steering pump ages, seal leaks may occur, causing the power steering system to lose fluid. Your power steering system may also develop an annoying squeal, and the steering may become more difficult to handle. By using Lucas Power Steering Stop Leak, you will stop the seal leaks, reduce slack in rack and pinions, eliminate the squeals and hard spots in your power steering system. It is guaranteed to stop seal leaks or your money back. Lucas Power Steering Stop Leak. It works.
Ladies and gentlemen, the caution lights have gone down 25 times around the I-80 Speedway with the Lucas Oil American Sprint Car Series presented by MAV TV. Your local heroes will lead them down to the drop of the green flag to the inside. The pole starting position it is. Ryan Roberts in the 18R. He picks it up at a 4, ladies and gentlemen. It's showtime at I-80. Out comes the green. Jason Johnson is up to the high line. He's got second. He's looking for the race lead here on lap number 1. Jason Johnson down to the inside line. What a move as you've got a new leader. The MVT 41 of Jason Johnson's going to show the way. As look out, jacked over hard into the wall, upside down. The red flag is out. My, oh my. The gas man into the wall. A wicked flip in turns 3 and 4. They'll flash the green lights around the racetrack, letting the drivers know this time the green flag is set to wave up to the front row. It's still your local favorites. It's Ryan Roberts and Don Drow Jr. side by side. The field working in a 3. We race at a 4. The field going to fan out into turns 1 and 2. They run side by side and 3 wide all the way through as up front. Don Drow Jr. going to look for the race lead. He dives it down to the inside. He'll steal away for the 18R of Brian Roberts. Roberts going to fall to second, now in danger of falling back to third because Jason Johnson's on the move. Jason Johnson's 41 down to the inside. He's got second. He's got the lead. Wow, what a move. 2 for the price of 1, but can he hold on to it? Roberts back down to the inside. It's a good 3-car battle up in the front of the field, and Ryan Roberts back up to the top spot. Ryan Roberts back up into the race lead, but Jason Johnson's not done. You've got a new leader, the 41 back up top. Jason Johnson back up into the race lead. Roberts down to the bottom of the racetrack. Don Drow Jr. still sitting in third. Then it's Lasoski. Then here comes Danny Wood. Danny Wood right now going to run at your top 5 as he works by the Casey's General Store 21 of Brian Brown. Brown up to the high side. Danny Wood for the bottom. Slides up to the high side. He'll slam the door on the 21. That's going to drop Brown to 6. The 45X of Johnny Herrera running at 7. 8th right now is the 77X of Wayne Johnson. 9th is going to be Brad Loyette. Your top 10 is going to round out with a 5H of Logan Forler. But look who's up into 11th as it's going to be the 18 of Tony Bruce Jr. for a moment now. Going to drop back to 12. Jordan Boston to the high side. Able to steal away the position, though, as they work up at turn number 4. Tony Bruce Jr. right around the bottom of the racetrack, trying to work his way up into a top 10 position. As he'll work around the 5H of Logan Forler, he will do so as we go back to the front of the field. It's still a good battle for the race lead. Ryan Roberts hanging right there with Jason Johnson. As Johnson up to the high side, Roberts down to the bottom. They're side by side through the middle of turns 1 and 2. It's still Jason Johnson by a car length down the back straightaway. Jason Johnson leading. Ryan Roberts still sitting in second as the battle for third now. Danny Lasoski going to go after Don Drow Jr. Lasoski down to the bottom. Drow up to the high side. They're wheel to wheel now as they work into turns 1 and 2. Lasoski right around the bottom of the I-80 Speedway. The Catfish is going at it here. with Don Drown Jr. up around the high side. Brian Brown, he is back up into 5th with the 45X of Johnny Herrera up into 6th. The 77X of Wayne Johnson going to run in 7th. Back to 8th. It's going to be the 81 of Danny Wood. 9th right now is going to be the 05 of Brad Loyette. Your top 10 is going to round out with Tony Bruce Jr. As Tony Bruce now going to pick up 9th to the front straightaway. He'll drop Loyette back 1. Bruce up to the high side. Loyette right around the bottom of the racetrack. As the 99 of Brady Bacon, he is up into 11th. Then it should be the 5-inch of Logan Forler. Then the 40. That is going to be Clint Garner right now. He is trying to make his way up through the running order as we work back to the rest of the field. It is the 4, Jordan Boston right behind Garner. Then it's going to be the 4. Jay make that. That is going to be Lee Gross, and it's going to be the 9 of Gary Wright, the 2 of Dustin Morgan, the 56 of Davey Heskin, the 7K of Robbie Wolfgang. Then you're going to find the 6 of Kaylee Garson. We'll find your race leader, the 41 of Jason Johnson. He's already put the 12 of Tyler Jaricki a lap down to competition, as well as the 23 of Seth Bergman. Other drivers a lap down also include the 2A of Randy Hibbs. So 3 drivers right now a lap down to competition as we make that 4 drivers a lap down to competition. Aaron Reitzel also in that mix as the caution now will fly. Tyler Jaricki's 12 spinning on the exit of turn number 2 as he was running right around your leaders. Everybody doing a great job of avoiding the spinning 12. As again, that was the driver of Eagle, Nebraska. In the Vimania, B&D Automotive and Zaz Farms 12, Jaricki spinning on the exit of turn number 2. Again, Jason Johnson, your race leader, a little bit of a slump here lately, looking to get himself back on top, and right now sitting in fine position to do so. In the Mesilla Valley Transportation, Law Office of Richard Strunk and Roush Yates Ford 41. The 18R lining up in second. He is one of your local boys. He's out of Aurora, Nebraska. In the Mid-Nebraska Land Development, Salon 18 and A&L Sales 18R. Then it's going to be the 1 of Lasoski, the 2 of Droud, the 21 of Brown, your top 5. Here we go. They pick up the pace at a 3. We race again at a 4. Single file down the front straightaway. Jason Johnson back up to the high side of I-80 Speedway. Ryan Roberts with Danny Lasoski right around the bottom. They're going to give chase as they work to the back straightaway. As Brian Brown now going to go after the 2X of Don Droud Jr. They make their way by the 87 of Aaron Reitzel. Reitzel again a lap down to competition. Johnny Herrera also going to try to run down this battle as the 21 of Brian Brown up to the high side going to make his way by Don Droud Jr. As that's the battle for 4th. It's going to be the KC General Store, Searsboro Tires, Searsboro Telephone Company 21 of Brian Brown up into 4th. As back up front is Jason Johnson with a battle for 2nd. A good one. The 1 of Danny Lasoski down to the inside. He's going to make his way by the 18R of Brian Roberts. Roberts going to fall back to 3rd. Brown up to the high side and 4th with Don Droud Jr. still running at your top 5. Then it's going to be the 45X of Johnny Herrera sitting at 6th. Up in the 7th is going to be Wayne Johnson. 8th is going to be Danny Wood. 9th right now is going to be the 99 of Brady Bacon with the 18 of Tony Bruce Jr. rounding at your top 10. Brady Bacon last night, the brake caliper shearing off of the inboard brake of that 99. Tonight he is fighting from deep in the field as he lined up on the inside of row number 8. He is up into the top 10 and still moving as he works the inside line here at I-80. While that battle is going on, though, you've got a new leader. Danny Lasoski is taking it away from Jason Johnson. Jason Johnson up to the high side of the racetrack. He's within about 2 car lengths now as they work into turns 3 and 4. Danny Lasoski right around the bottom of the I-80 Speedway. Jason Johnson right there trying to steal it back. Danny Lasoski right around the inside wall. Jason Johnson right up against the cushion as they work into turns 3 and 4. Johnson able to close right in, but he's going to scrub off speed right in the middle of turns 3 and 4. And Lasoski's able to pull away as it's going to be Roberts still sitting in 3rd. Brown sitting in 4th with Droud running out your top 5. Again into turns 1 and 2. It's Lasoski to the bottom. Jason Johnson up to the high side. This time not near the run that he had on the previous lap as he'll dive down to the bottom into turns 3 and 4. He'll have to make up some ground now on the dude as he shows the way. As we'll have less than 9 laps to go. Again, less than 9 laps to go in this A main for the Lucas Oil America Sprint Car Series presented by MAV TV. As a battle for 3rd now, it's going to be the 21 of Brian Brown on the high side. He's going to steal away from Ryan Roberts. Jason Johnson right off the bottom of the racetrack. He closes back within 2 car lengths. He's going to try to use lap traffic as a pick. Lasoski down to the bottom. He has to slide up to the middle of the racetrack. Johnson back up into the top spot. Jason Johnson steals away the race lead using lap traffic to his advantage. As Traylor Dewicki, he forced the... Oh my! Traylor Dewicki takes it around. The caution is out and nearly clips the 45X of Herrera and the 99 of Bacon. And this could be a saving grace for Jason Johnson as he nearly spun the car. He saved it, waiting to hear from officials as to where he will line up. Jason Johnson nearly losing the handle on that race car just as Tyler Dewicki took the car around, the caution flying. Oh, my. As the caution lights have gone down around the I-80 Speedway, can Danny Lasoski pull off the upset here with the National Tour? Jason Johnson working high in 1 and 2, low in 3 and 4. Finally was able to get the run, and the caution saving him as it kept Brian Brown and the rest of the field from racing on by. We're going to see what's going to happen here. It's going to be an 8-lap shootout here at I-80 Speedway. The high line is working. The bottom groove has come to life. Lasoski working right around the fence. Jason Johnson trying to anticipate the start. Pulls right to the back bumper, the 1M. Lasoski on the loud pedal. Work back underway. Everybody going to work down the front straightaway into turns 1 and 2. Brian Brown going to go up to the high side. He's going to go after the 41 of Jason Johnson. Johnson right around the bottom of the racetrack in 1 and 2. He goes to the middle of the racing surface in 3 and 4, trying to run down Lasoski as here comes Brian Brown. Brian Brown right to the back bumper, the 41, as they work into turns at 1 and 2. Jason Johnson still holding on a second. Brown still right there, as it's going to be Ryan Roberts and Don Brown Jr. still your top 5 as the battle for 6 now. Brady Bacon down to the inside of Johnny Herrera. He's going to steal away from the 45X. Herrera takes it up to the cushion, dives it back down to the bottom. He's going to use the banking to his advantage. He's going to try to steal it back into turns 1 and 2. Got it, the 45X back up into 6. The 45X of Johnny Herrera up into 6, but they left the high line wide open. And here comes Tony Bruce Jr. Tony Bruce Jr. up to the high side. He goes around the 99 of Brady Bacon, sets his sights on the 45X of Johnny Herrera. As another driver starting to make his way up through the running order, it's the 77X of Wayne Johnson and the 40 joining him. It's going to be Clint Garner. Those two drivers go 3 wide with Brad Loyette through turns 1 and 2. Everybody trying to make their way up through the field as it continues to be Danny Lasoski showing the way by a half a straight now. Brian Brown with a huge run right to the back bumper, the 41 of Jason Johnson. The battle for second continues on as Johnson off the bottom, the 21 of Brown off the high side. They're within a car length. They're bumper to bumper into turns 3 and 4. Down to the inside again, dives the 41, up to the high side, goes to 21 as we have less than 3 laps to go. It's all Danny Lasoski. Danny Lasoski right around the bottom. Jason Johnson sliding up right to the middle of the racetrack. Brian Brown still right there, but not able to get the run. Don Drow Jr. sitting in 4th. Ryan Roberts running out your top 5. Then it's going to be Johnny Herrera in 6th. The 18 of Tony Bruce Jr. in 7th. 8th is going to be the 05 of Brad Loyette. 9th, the 77X of Wayne Johnson. Your top 10 is going to round with the 40 of Clint Garner as we have twin flags in the air. Less than 2 laps to go as your leader with a comfortable advantage. We'll work into turns 3 and 4 this time. The white flag is out. One more time around for the dude. Brian Brown able to steal away second here in the closing laps. The 41 of Jason Johnson falling back to 3rd. Don Drought, Ryan Roberts, Johnny Herrera, Tony Bruce Jr., Brad Loyette. Then it's going to be Wayne Johnson. Then it's going to be Clint Garner. Right now your top 10 as your leader this time. Up at turn number 4. Checkered flag waves for Danny Lasoski. Lasoski picking up the win. Brian Brown taking 2nd. The 41 of Jason Johnson in 3rd. The 2X of Don Drought Jr. The 18R of Ryan Roberts, your top 5. The 18 of Tony Bruce Jr. stealing away 6th at the line. The 45X of Johnny Herrera comes home in 7th. The 05 of Brad Loyette. The 77X of Wayne Johnson. And it looked like the 56 possibly of Davey Heskins unofficially your top 10.